Welcome to Beyond Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Petrellis, and we are super excited for today's guest. You see the squad in front of us. I've seen these guys on social media over the last couple of years. Coach Dave, I've known him a really long time, and what he's doing with his teams and what we've seen in the Wilmington youth level, especially hockey, has been outstanding and amazing. And to see some of these guys, they're popping on the screen. I'm like, oh, I've seen this kid. Oh, I've seen this kid. And it's all through the fun stuff that they do in their sports. So we're going to jump into them. But first, I want to give a shout out to Sonny's Boxing Gym. We were there last Thursday filming a lot of content, and a lot of his fighters reached out to us, and super excited about what we're going to be doing there every Thursday for the very foreseeable future. We're super excited to be partnering up with them. And yeah, they've been great to us all along, and we got a lot of fun announcements coming up. So stay tuned for that. Check out our Instagram for that. But back to these guys. These guys are awesome, and this is what it's all about, and this is why we're here. So, the coolest thing I want to start off with, and just because I'm a big rah-rah guy. I was a coach for a really long time at the high school level, but your coach kind of gets you guys pretty amped up. I love play like a champion today, hitting the sign before you guys going out, your player of the game helmet. So first, I kind of want to focus on your guys' coach here a little bit. Talk about playing for Coach Dave. I mean, he seems like a pretty cool guy. He seems like he makes things a lot of fun. And yeah, you can see that you guys are pretty successful. And I think that's all kind of ties into each other. Any of you guys can jump in and take it first, whoever wants to talk.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of an honor playing for such a great coach. I mean, he's been probably my favorite coach I've ever had. He's just wicked nice and all the he makes practice fun, and he's always good with the kids.
Very cool. Not easy to be the first one to go, by the way, dude. So a lot of props to you on that one. Anybody else want to jump in?
He's just like a really fun coach. He's really nice. And he makes things fun that like like on some other things it wouldn't be. Like he just makes everything fun.
Yeah. Um, I mean, he's my dad, so like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in your answer because you kind of see both sides of it. Like my dad used to coach me, and everyone's like, "Oh, your dad." And then I get in the car, my dad's like, "You should have did this, you should have did that." But I know your dad's not like that. But how is it cool to be like see cool dad as coach, and everyone really loves and enjoys him, and then kind of going home and see him as cool dad?
yeah,
What do you think? Is that cool?
yeah, yeah, he's just a good coach. He makes a lot of things fun, and I feel like he just makes like the seasons better and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Anything you want to add, Gavin?
He doesn't scream at us when we do something wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big one, right? And it's really cool, coach. And the common theme I'm getting here is like fun and culture building. And we talking about a lot on this podcast. Like the most successful high school teams that I've been a part of, whether as assistant coach or as a head coach or just kind of even coverage wise covering teams that have a good locker room, teams that get along with each other, teams that do team building things. That wins you like so many games, close games, tight games, when the group is tight and wants to play for each other and play together. And that kind of starts at the top with you. I've always messaged you. You know that I'm not trying to throw all these flowers at you here, but I did want to start off with this because I have messaged you a lot, being like, dude, you're doing great stuff. This is awesome. I know you won a big award in Wilmington as a result of it and in the work that you're doing, but when you hear these kids say that stuff like fun, enjoy it, makes it easy, he doesn't scream at us, like how does that like kind of make you feel coaching these guys a little bit?
Thing for me. I mean, it's you go to work all day and it's just life is just so busy, and then hockey is like a real release. You know what I mean? It gives me purpose. It's not like other youth sports where they're 8 weeks long. You know, hockey goes on forever. It's 7 months of your life, so it's a real commitment, but it's like more of a family, I feel like, than other sports, so but yeah, hearing them all say that is enormous, I mean, because it's like you put everything you have into it just to make it as fun as possible, and especially like the age, right, too, because I know that as they get older they're not going to buy in, hopefully I'm wrong, maybe they do forever, but like, as they get older they're probably not going to want to take photos after the game and all this other stuff. But like, so I know I have them at least for another year or two or so, before they turn into, young adults and then want nothing to do with me. But for now, I try to do all the little extra stuff and just keep it as fun as possible, and so that's
Yeah.
the plan anyways,
I think that's important. I think, a lot of times when I coach at the high school level, guys, the one thing I used to say to my players a lot, especially to get them like really amped up and pumped up before a big game, is to kind of think about the kid that they once were when they like went to these games and admire the high school players and admire those kids wearing number 3 or number 5 or number 10 or whatever. And now you guys eventually will be that, right? And I think your coach is teaching you guys so much about how important it is to love the game as a kid, because when you get older, the game gets tougher, but the love and the passion is what kind of like drives you a little bit. So you guys are doing great stuff here. Now, I do want to talk to Mark out the gate because I've seen him on social media probably the most, truthfully. And I know that you're a big bad drummer. And I've kind of seen you doing a lot of stuff, and I've seen you play at different places, and you seem like you're kind of the man. Like, do you have like a hat or like something that you wear, like as like you are the drummer? Like, is there a certain thing that you have that is like your symbol that you put on when you drum?
Honestly, usually it's this Red Sox hat right here. It's a
Okay.
classic. I feel like it's just I've been wearing it a lot, and I feel like for me, I think it brings good luck.
I love it, dude, because I've seen you play. You're pretty good. And I know that you're a little dinged up right now. You have a really tough, you have a broken arm or something like that.
I have OCD in my elbow.
Oh man, okay, so it was right in the middle there. Now, I will tell you this, and I'm his name, I wrote it down because I always forget. It's the longest name ever. But if you go on YouTube, you ever hear of Def Leppard? I know you're a big like drummer
Yep.
guy. The one-arm drummer. You ever hear of the one-arm drummer?
Oh yeah.
Dude, this is what you should be doing right now. You should be learning how to play with one arm. Imagine I saw him live in Boston. It was, and I'm not like a big Def Leppard fan. Like I might know like 2 songs, truthfully, but I could not get over how amazing he was. And then he did a solo at the end of the show that like for the last 5 minutes and was just unreal. So I know you're a little dinged up. Practice with that one arm. I think
Yeah.
you might be onto something there.
Yeah.
All right, let me jump into another guy here. So let me jump into Matt. He's right next to you. So we'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. So Matt, obviously for the intel that I've gathered about you, you're a pretty talented hockey player. You seem pretty good. Kids in the team really like you. I mean, talk about kind of like being a young leader on a team, right? Like what does leadership mean to you when you're talking about your hockey team and going out there and setting the example? Like what does leadership mean to you?
Like just like pumping everyone up, saying good luck, let's go. Just like making everyone feel happy and like included, feel good.
Do you kind of take on that role a little bit?
A little bit. I'm
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
quiet, but
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy to jump in there and kind of do that, but that's a great answer. Kind of saying what you just said there. I mean, those are the true like, components of being a really good leader. You should do that more because you clearly know what it's like to what a leader should be, right? So
yeah.
keep doing it, dude. Keep doing it. What position do you play?
Mostly center.
Okay, so you're a big face-off guy. Do you take your face-offs real serious?
Yeah.
Is there a guy in the NHL that you kind of like, is a big face-off guy that you like ever watch on YouTube or you just like really like?
Yeah, Connor McDavid.
Okay. Just because he's a stud, just overall, just a stud hockey player. He's like your
Well,
favorite
yeah, and
hockey
I
player?
also just like I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah,
I mean,
perfect. Well, who else, guys? Who else are kind of hockey players? We'll jump into you. We'll go Brian here. Brian, who's a hockey player right now, NHL person that you just love watching or you want to be like when you grow up?
Well, it used to be Bergeron, but he retired. So
He's
now
old now. He's like your dad and I. He's old. He's old. Who
yeah,
is it now?
probably like Pasternak.
Okay, Pasta. I mean, the best player on the Bruins, probably, right? Overall player. Do you feel like you play like him a lot? Like, what's your favorite part of his game, Brian?
Just like how good he is usually, and like yeah, how good he is usually.
Cool. Cool. Okay. And Gavin, what about you? Who's the guy that you love watching in the NHL?
Connor Bedard.
Oh, wow. I like that. Why is that?
I was gonna say
The shot's amazing.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I can hear him pretty well, actually. I can hear him pretty good. That was good. That was great.
Nice.
Now, before we kind of jump back into the hockey stuff and what's going on and maybe tournaments you have coming up this year and all that stuff, Let's talk about school a little bit. Like, I'm a teacher, okay? I know that some of your parents might be teachers. You guys are all in school, but let's talk a little bit about favorite subject. I ask this a lot to even high school kids that come on here. I want you to think for a minute. I'm going to ask you a couple different questions, but one, I want to hear everybody's favorite subject in school. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and everyone's just going to say it, and then we'll kind of jump into whatever. But favorite subject can be whatever you want. Ooh, we even got a hand raise here. I feel like I'm teaching right now on the podcast. What do we got, Brian?
Does it have to be like academics, or could it be like UAs? Like,
Ooh, that's a great question. Well, I'll let you say whatever you want. I'll let you say whatever you want, but I just don't want to hear PE across the board. That's kind of my only answer. Okay, no PE across the board. All right, so think of something else besides PE if you're going to say PE. Okay, everybody's got one.
Mhm.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Math.
Did someone say math? Who said math?
Me.
Oh, math's my favorite subject to teach. It's like my favorite subject to teach. Why do you like math so much?
It's just I feel like I definitely get it the most, and I feel like if I have a wicked good math teacher that really like understands me kind of,
Yeah.
that just makes it a whole lot more enjoyable.
What grade are you in?
7th.
Okay, 7th grade. So what are you learning right now? What's the big thing you got going on there?
We're doing like multiplying positive and negative numbers.
Ooh, okay. That used to be a 5th grade standard a decade ago. I used to teach that back in the day. Okay. I love that. And then, oh yeah, you got to change the negative sign. I gotcha. I gotcha. That's fun stuff. That is fun stuff. I heard science. Did someone scream out science? All right, talk to me about science. I love science. One of the harder subjects to teach. I feel like it's a lot of preparation. It's a lot of work. But to hear someone love science, hear that preparation work is well worth it. Let's hear it.
I really like science because this year they make it fun and like we do like labs and experiments, and like last year you would just go in the textbook and like write stuff down. So she definitely makes it more fun this year. And also she taught my older siblings too, so I like kind of know her.
Yeah.
And she's
So they
really
give you a little heads up. They hang
yeah.
on to old tests and quizzes and give them to you. No, I was kidding. Um, no, I mean that sounds awesome. And again, I love science. Science is there are certain things that like when we do it, I'm like, oh, they're gonna love this week. Like
Yeah.
this is a lot of fun. So, and you guys keep mentioning fun. You're talking about fun. I mean, when you say fun with coach and you say fun with teaching, is it the aspect of what? Is it just the energy of your teachers and your coaches? Is it just how they deliver it to you? Like what makes it so fun? Because I think this is great to hear. I think when you're successful and you're having fun, it's a great formula. Everyone's happy. Talk about what makes coach so fun, what makes these teachers so fun. What's the common theme here?
Probably like they're like usually really nice and they just like turn stuff that could be like boring for other kids, they make it like fun.
Bingo,
Yeah.
bingo. That was a great answer. That was a great answer right there, right? Can make anything fun. And that's kind of what I think I see when I look at coaches' social media and the games that you guys are playing, whether you win or lose, they're still a player of the game, right? Whether you're whether you lose a term, whatever, the posts are so positive, and it just shows how great of a time you have. How many people here have wore the spiked hat here?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, what is that? Is that just for the game? Do you hang on to that? Do you like get it for like a day? How does that work?
We usually will get like if you get it after a game, you'll hang on to it until the next game.
Where's the craziest place someone has worn that hat? Where someone brought that hat and just like worn it? Anybody?
It's a good question.
I don't know.
You guys don't like walk? You like walk in the market basket in Wilmington with that thing on?
Oh,
So
Anywhere?
I always like to see because it's cool to get the picture in the locker room, but then I always like to see like the ones when they get home, like with their dad or their mom or whatever. Those are
That's
always
the
the cool things.
best.
Yeah, like those they always come after, in the text or something. But yeah.
I'd wear that to school. I'd wear that out to dinner. Like, let people ask, be like, yeah, I was player of the game, no big deal, right? Like, I'd wear that thing everywhere I go. That'd be unbelievable.
you want
But how cool does it feel? I mean, you all said you won, and Gavin, I haven't heard from you for a little bit, so I'll jump back to you here, buddy. You've won this before, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure before I made it awkward here. Okay, so you've won this before. Talk about how it feels when you get it presented to you. Like, how does it kind of work? Does coach just kind of get up and say something about you? Like, but talk about the whole process and obviously how you felt when you got your name called.
Good, because that means I was doing the best I could in the game.
That's great. And what did you feel when like coach calls your name out in the lock? Is that how it goes in the locker room? Is that like kind of where it happens? So when coach says your name in the locker, you would get up in front of everybody. Obviously, all your boys are like, "Yeah, Gavin, let's go!" Like, how does that feel when that happens? Yeah. Do you feel like you just get like this jolt of energy that you're just like super pumped? Does anybody else want to talk about that? How do they felt when they got that helmet? Like, what goes through your mind here? Go for it, dude.
So like it's usually a lot of suspense when he starts talking about it, like before he says the name and you like get really nervous. And then when he says like say like Matthew got player of the game, you would be like you'd get like really pumped up and you'd get like a spark of energy.
Yeah, I mean that's what's kind of cool, right? I think whether you win or lose in a game, you play hard. It's nice when you get recognized for it. And it's not necessarily probably the person who scores the most goals or gets the most shots on net. It might be somebody who killed a lot of penalties or somebody who blocked some key shots or a goalie who played really well, right? Like so there's a lot of different ways of getting recognized and winning an award like that. And it's kind of cool to see coaches write up to the kids that did win the award. It seemed to be coach, you do a great job of really spreading it out, consistent, and finding all these different great qualities that a player of a game would win. So I think that's a great job. And where did you kind of get inspire that, coach? I mean, obviously we played sports a lot when we were younger, so we had stuff like that all the time. But for you, like, how did this stuff all start clicking? Like the Notre Dame stuff, the helmet. I mean, where did you kind of inspire from with all that?
Honestly, I have no idea where this like player of the game thing came from. But it was the thing when I started coaching, and I, noticed that a couple people did it. So, but then it was always like we started off with the first year. I think we had a medal. One of the moms made like this. It was this big heavy medal with the Wildcat on it.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
of the I don't know where it came from, but one of the moms made it. So they would give that. And then when I finally was able to be the head coach, I'm like, okay, I got to find something that's cool. So I think I spent the entire summer like online looking at all these different things, and then I found this I don't know what you call it, gladiator helmet, you know, and
There it is. It's right here.
yeah,
Here we go.
that's right it. And so I don't know, for whatever reason we did the I played like a champion. So when he crossed it out and stuff and put I played like a champion instead of play like a champion. And he was awesome. Ron Slater, if you want to check him out, Mask Painter, I think is his handle on
All right,
Instagram.
we'll give him some love on here. That looks amazing.
Wicked cool guy. He set it all up, and it just kind of went from there. After it said that on the helmet, then I went and tracked down the sign, and then that became a whole thing. So it's a big theme, you know what I mean? Like it just carried on throughout the year, and it's the little things like that that just made it a little extra. We had this too. So we had a captain that was the captain all year, Cam McCabe. Um, Last year was his last year, and then now we had this also, the A. So we floated the A. It has buttons on the back, so like that was just another thing you could aspire to get. You know what I mean? So there was the player of the game. There was who was wearing the A for that week, or maybe they wear it for 2 weeks if they. So it's just all part of the fun. That's all.
Yeah, and I think honestly, it sounds like a great culture. I mean, that's like when my classroom, like I spend from way my schedule works. My kids show up at 8:30, at 9:15, they're heading off to their specialist teacher, their art, their computer, their whatever. But from like 8:45 to 9:15 every morning, we spend a solid half hour on like building our classroom culture, like how to get along with each other, how to work together, to play fun games together, to take chances and put yourself out there a little bit. And after a while of doing that, you just notice that work gets easier in class, kids work better together in class, itself that gets handed to you is just better quality in general because kids are actually effectively knowing how to like work together. So I think what you're doing is like so special because you're kind of building something that is, I think, sometimes forgotten about in youth sports with the world of AAUs out there and all these different teams that you can play for. The idea of like playing with a group that you get along with and that you do stuff with outside of the sport. And it's not just a group that you play with and meet up with 3 times a week to playing a hockey game and maybe have a practice in between then. Like, I think what you're doing is important because at the high school level, those are the most successful teams. Like, talent gets you, trust me, talent gets you places, but it doesn't always get you to the finish line. So I think what you're doing is super positive in this community. And I'm seeing it as someone who's, we're both Medford guys coming into Wilmington. We're not Wilmington guys in Wilmington. So to see you kind of making an effect in just another community that you live in it's been a lot of fun. I'll be totally honest with you.
Fun. It's been a blast. It's you meet people too. Moving up to a new town. It's the only way to meet people is through sports, really. I mean, the school, they obviously took a little bit of time, and now he's got all his buddies and everything. But yeah, sports is huge. It's how you meet other parents and get yourself involved, and so it's been cool. It took. I mean, this is our 4th year up here, and first couple of years it took longer than I thought it would to like get yourself kind of your roots. I don't know. I lived, like you say, I was in Medford forever. I didn't think I would ever leave. And then, so coming up here, I didn't quite know how to be in a new town. So all of this stuff made it fun for myself and Bri, and easier to just kind of get your feet in and, do what you got to do and meet new people. So
Yeah, it's nice. And I will say to you guys, back in the day, Coach and I were such good hockey players. So just like listen to everything we say because we were so good. I was kidding. I'm just kidding. But Coach was a very good player. Coach was a couple years older than me. His older brother and my older brother played hockey together too for a really long time. So I've known Coach on and off through the hockey world for a while. So listen to him. He grew up in a good hockey family. He knows what he's talking about. And I'm seeing it work when I watch his social media. So you guys are having fun. Let's talk about the season, fellas. This will be the last thing we really jump into and talk about. I mean, what's the goal this year? What's the ultimate goal for you? I know you guys playing some tournaments and they're obviously qualifying for states is a big thing. I mean, what is some personal goals you guys have? You're playing together now for a second year. Maybe your season didn't end last year the way you wanted it to. So what is something this year that you guys are really striving for that's important? And anyone can jump in and take this.
I feel like it's just I feel like if we can make it back to states again, I feel like we have a really good team this year. We actually have a chance to win it. Also, how we're doing Lake Placid this year, which is going to be so fun, and especially for me just to get healthy so I can get back out on that ice.
Look at that, dudes. Look at you. Dude, we got to teach you how to play the you should just bring drums with you to the game and just play them. Like bring one of them with you and just rock out with one arm during the game. You should do
that's what
that.
I'm talking about.
If you do that, I will come down and personally videotape the entire experience for you, just so you're aware. Okay. I'm just throwing a little bit of bait out there for you. But who else? Somebody else jump in and take this. What's a goal, or maybe a personal goal that you have for yourself this year as well?
I would say probably just to like maybe win one of the tournaments, like maybe win like Placid or like states possibly this year, which I think we have a chance at least one of them, because like Mark said, like we have a pretty good team this year, and I think we could do pretty good and stuff. So yeah.
That's great. So you guys set high expectations for yourself, which is awesome, right? Like you always want to shoot for the top, right? You always want to try to go for it. And if you don't, you land somewhere and then you build up from there. So it's great that you guys kind of feel that way. I'll give you other two gentlemen an opportunity. Either one of you guys want to jump in and add at all. Let me know, Matthew or Gavin.
So I think if we have a very good team this year, like they said, I feel like we could make the playoffs and keep going all the way with the way we're playing. We're playing pretty good.
And what is it, you guys? Is it you a big offensive team right now? Are you a defensive team? Or do you guys feel like you're pretty balanced?
I would say all of it we're pretty good at right now.
And I
Yeah.
feel like we're just blessed with the amazing goalie of Zachy Stroud.
Yeah.
He's a stud.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good to hear.
Well,
Is he good glove side, blocker side? It's just
All
everything.
around. All around.
You think I could score on him if I go on a breakaway against him?
Not.
probably not.
Okay. Guys,
Some of the coaches
don't wake a
get
sleeping giant here. That's great. I mean, and that's cool to hear you guys throwing love to other players, even guys that aren't on here. So it just shows how kind of cool you guys are with each other and how far that's going to go. Gavin, did you want to add anything, buddy? I wanted to give you an opportunity to say something if you wanted to. Oh, we're gonna try that again. We're gonna try that again. Try one more time. Talk closer to your computer. There you
I
go.
thought they said everything I was gonna say.
All right, cool. So all the above, we'll say.
They stole his thunder.
Well, listen, guys, and I mean this, and we're actually doing this with Medford Hockey, but I will throw this out here just to you guys, not Wilmington Hockey, but just this team, okay? If you guys score a hat trick, okay, we're doing a thing with Medford Hockey. If they score a hat trick, they get to come on the podcast. So if you score a hat trick, I will give you an option of either coming on for like a 10-minute podcast like this, or I'll give you a big shout out on our social media. We'll get a picture of you, video of you, give you a huge shout out. If you have a video of your goal, you can send it, any of your goals. You can send it to us whenever, like in any game, you can send us your goals and we'll post it. Okay. So, but if you score a hat trick, just reach out to us, let us know, and we'll talk and figure out which one you guys rather do. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. I'm only doing this. It's a big Medford thing, and in this place, Jim's Market. Coach will appreciate this. Jim's
I
Market.
was just gonna say that we want in on the free B-boys.
So I guess right now it's absolute mass chaos in there because every kid's running in there claiming they've scored a hat trick. So we now have to like get them to bring their actual card in to show that they scored a hat trick. Because if every kid scored a hat trick, Medford should be winning 17 state championships across the board at every level. Like it's unbelievable. So yeah. So but for you guys, we'll see if I can slide the B. We'll talk about the B-boys, but definitely from my end, guys, we will definitely do something kind of cool and fun like that just to kind of keep things a lot of
All
fun.
right.
Any
Nice.
goals you score, if your parents catch it from the stands, they can send it to us. We'll give you a highlight and a shout out. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, listen, we wish you the best. We're excited to get you guys on here. And I know this isn't the last we've heard from you for sure. But Coach, I really do mean what I said. You do some great things. And these guys are very lucky to have you as a coach. And Wilmington's really lucky to have you in their program, just in general, kind of leading some of these kids. So great work that you do too.
Thank you. You're welcome to come anytime if you want to get some behind the scenes footage. Anytime.
Last time I was on the ice, I'll tell this story quick before I go. Now, when I go skating with the 5th grade, like I show the skills off. Like I'm burning kids on the ice. I'm spraying them. Like I'm going at them. Like it's my day. It's my day to get them. Not a lot of them can skate. I'm like, oh yeah, remember you said this to me in class? Remember you complete? Like, yep, remember? Boom, 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 boom. So I am standing there and taking a picture of like 5 or 6 kids together. Some kid tries to spray me from behind, wipes out, takes out all of us. My finger's bent the other way. This is like February, right with the Friday before February vacation. And I gotta go to like the emergency room. I'm like, I broke my finger, and they're like, no more ice skating. I was like, no, I didn't like get hurt. Some kid just took me out from behind. But that was the last time I've been on the ice. But I have to get over my fears of getting injured there. I gotta get back on the ice. So maybe it'll be for you guys.
All right, sounds good.
But thanks for coming on, guys. And this is Beyond Podcast. We got a busy week coming up. We are going to be emceeing Medford Rec Run. That's going to be happening in Hormel Stadium, a huge event this Friday. So check us out there. And then Saturday, we'll be at our Oktoberfest. We are going to be hosting, walking around with the camera, and doing all sorts of fun games. So come find us there in Medford as well. And you never know. You get on our social media, we'll have a little fun with you. So you guys, you're awesome. Anytime you need anything, please let us know. But from Beyond Podcast, I'm your host, Anthony Petrellis. Till next time.
Thank you.